Welcome back, Soulmates. Thanks so much for allowing us to be a part of your day and for joining in on the conversation. We're going to take a minute to highlight some of today's top headlines. Let's go to New York, where Mayor Eric Adams says his focus is on the budget and the number of black residents leaving the city. The latest census shows while the city's overall population grew by over 7% in the past decade, the black population dropped by over 4%, with Brooklyn losing nearly 70,000 black residents. Wow. Let's go to North Carolina, where the school district is in hot water for their rate of suspensions when it comes to black students. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools has a black student population that makes up about 36% of students, but 68% of out-of-school suspensions. The district says their performance is off track, you don't say, but there's been slight improvements since the last year. We're looking forward to seeing those improvements, Charlotte. All right, the struggle is real. According to a new study, 54% of black Americans reported that their income rose in the past 12 months. That's a good thing. But 58% said they would lose everything if a recession came. But more than half believe the U.S. economy will rebound this year. And according to Bloomberg, black professional women in the U.S. are leaving the country for better living conditions abroad. This small but significant exodus has increased amid the COVID-19 pandemic and social unrest in the U.S., with black women looking for better lives for themselves and their kids. Popular destinations among black Americans include Mexico, Portugal, and the Caribbean. Now, for the full rundown on these stories and more, you can access FOXSOUL's video on demand by checking out any of our partners. You can even access past shows and other black-centered content. And don't forget to download the FOXSOUL app. Josh Landon in for Corte. Over to you.
All right, Courtney, thank you. Queens, New York is making black history by celebrating firefighter Regina Wilson. Take a look here. Wilson has become the first woman to hold the position of board president for the Fraternal Order of Black Firefighters. Mayor Eric Adams was on hand to swear in Wilson and the rest of the executive board. The Fraternity Order of Black Firefighters was founded in 1940.
That is a good look.
A darn good look.
Yeah. I remember there was like a calendar or a social media post that went viral of some beautiful sisters who were firefighters, who were chiefs and captains. I want to say it was maybe Philly or New York. They looked fabulous. And you know, as a fighter, you have to be strong and you have to be fearless. And these women embodied all of that. Yeah.
What I'm enjoying about the show, many things, hanging out with you, of course. Another fact I'm enjoying about the show, this conversation this hour has been about women of color making history.
Oh, yeah.
Not just people of color, but specifically women of
color.
Yeah,
you know.
And, you know, another step in the right direction.
You know, we always go make it better and heal the world and take care of y'all.
Oh, yeah. We need taken care of. We need all them taken care of.
That's what we do when we put folks in office and, you know, and we fix campaigns and all kinds of good stuff.
Well, right on it.
Yeah.
It's another great example.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. We appreciate you being here.
My pleasure.
All right, black men. Let's talk about some black men.
All right.
Across the country. From D. Nice to Ed Gordon are mourning, unfortunately, the loss of Atlanta civil servant, civic leader, philanthropist, and entrepreneur Thomas W. Dortch Jr. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens wrote, "This is a sad day for our city. We have lost another soldier during the days in government or during his tenure leading 100 Black Men of Atlanta and later 100 Black Men of America. Tommy never lost sight of his mission." That's a quote there. Dortch was a member of the 100 Black Men of Atlanta and several civic and faith-based organizations. Mr. Dortch died yesterday at the age of 72. He also was a friend and advisor to King Center's CEO, Dr. Bernice A. King, who also affectionately called him Tommy. He was elected to 6 terms as a national chairman of 100 Black Men of America Incorporated. He would also go on to serve as chairman emeritus. There is no immediate word on when services or memorials will be held. A huge figure not only in the Atlanta area, but, you know, across the country in regards to just, you know, the betterment of black folks. I worked with the 100 Black Men of DC He was, of course, a leader of that organization nationally. Speaking of black men and the contributions of black men to our society, I don't want that to go lost. But with his passing, a deep hole. I do believe there was an illness there, but he leaves a huge, huge hole. He really does.
Yeah, well, he paved the way in many ways.
Indeed.
And he will not be forgotten.
That's true.
All right. Maryland archaeologists have uncovered African religious artifacts where Harriet Tubman was born into slavery in 1822, officials announced this week. Governor Wes Moore joined archaeologists from the Maryland Department of Transportation at the Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad Visitor Center to make the announcement. The artifacts were found in the ruins of an enslaved overseer's house, possibly Jerry Manoke, not far from the home of Ben Ross Tubman's father. Both buildings were on the land of slave owner Anthony Thompson. Governor Moore called Tubman one of the state's true matriarchs, calling the discovery a truly incredible find. The findings will soon be on display at the visitor center.
You know, that Harriet Tubman story, it just keeps on giving.
Yes, it does.
She is the gift that just keeps on giving. And I want to say, you know, whether it be Black History Month or some sort of special occasion marking her legacy, you always, for me, there's always something more or different, another dynamic, another layer that you find out about.
Yeah, an incredible woman she was. And as you just alluded to, we keep on learning more and more history about her, and I don't think that will stop anytime soon.
Yeah, and how far stretched, you know, that those routes were, and all the different resources that were used. I was just reading something the other day that there was a particular color blue that the slaves would paint their porch to let other slaves know the messages to a particular shade of blue, hush puppies, the way you braided your hair, putting rice in your hair. I mean, it's just, the story never ends, which is why it's so important for us to have these stories and have these things documented, and for us to study and learn about them
and it also
in our history books.
And it also showcases the level of intelligence
and
that slaves demonstrated while in bondage.
Intelligence, clever, you know, just how brilliant, again, how they were in the ways that they planned to escape. And it's just so fascinating. It is absolutely fascinating. And it came on up this way because for true freedom, at one point it was to get to Canada, where you would have the true freedom. And so, you know, Detroit plays a huge role in that path as well.
Indeed.
Yeah. All righty, let's get into some Black history. We're going to get into what happened today in Black history. Rapper, actor Tracy Morrow, better known as Ice-T, turns 65 today. Ice-T is one of the pioneers of the gangster rap genre and was also one of the first rappers to make the successful transition to actor, as he is the longest running male actor on a TV series, Law & Order, SVU, as Detective Tutu Ola. Also on this day, 1972, Wilt Chamberlain hit the 30,000 point mark during a game with the Phoenix Suns. And those are your Black history highlights for today.
Right on. Yeah, Ice-T did his thing at the Grammys.
And I can't believe, you know, listen, I remember he was, you know, gangster rapper from the West, and he was pretty vulgar.
He sure
and
was.
For him to, you know, get into this acting thing and now be named the longest running male, Black or white, it's Hispanic, longest running male in a TV series by way of Law & Order is just amazing. But he says there's a lot of joking across social media. All he really says is, yeah, damn, really. But it's worked. It's worked.
It's worked, and the brother does a lot more than that.
I know, but when you see folks gotta tap in on social media, especially after he was named with this, yeah, it really is. I think it's an honor. You know, acting is tough.
It is tough.
And to be in that position for as many years as he's been, and all the different ups and downs and the different character changes, personnel changes in that whole franchise, that's something to be said.
He is using his talent and hard work to get to this point.
Yeah.
Right on, brother.
And we know a little something about that.
Amen.
Talent and hard work.
Keep it pushing.
That's right.
Yeah, you got to keep pushing.
All right, still ahead, major changes are coming to this year's All-Star Game.
All right, we'll tell you all about the new additions to this year's event. We'll be right back.